say your name, either where you're from, where you're at, something associated with that, and just anything about yourself.
My name's Jed from Williamsville, New York, and here in Inglewood, Colorado now. What is happiness? Um, like most things in my life, happiness is situational, right? What's going to make me happy one day won't necessarily make me happy the next, or wouldn't be appropriate even. This afternoon is probably going to be playing guitar, playing keys, playing music, singing. Family, for sure. Friends, people close to me, loved ones, and having a sense of purpose, contributing to something bigger than yourself. Might give me more pride than happiness, perhaps. Um, Maybe satisfaction. Food makes me happy. Cooking for myself and for other people. Um, Happiness. Funny, a friend of mine has a similar project. My answer was so far out of left field, he didn't use any of it because my response was, when happiness comes up in conversation, I'm always like, happiness is not even a goal of mine, not even after it. Because I'm privileged and blessed to have so much happiness around me that I'm not out I'm not out here just accumulating resources or accumulating the the most amount of happy experiences. I'm not trying to maximize happiness in my life because I've been spoiled. But it's turned into a duty to share that with other people, to shine a light in other people's lives. So happiness isn't really like a daily focus. It's not the highest priority. I have a ton of fun. I'm a happy person for the most part. Um,
Have you been unhappy?
of course, very recently, very locally. Um, I was really unhappy with a lot of elements of my life a little over a year ago. Just in a bad place, emotionally, spiritually, and I just remembered the power of daily affirmations. And the affirmation I came up with for myself uh, was, I get better, things get better. I have to do things to improve myself first before elements of my existence around me can improve. It was like a recommitment to meditation, eating well, drinking less, exercising more for sure, kind of zooming back in on myself, and putting more effort into just taking care of me and making me better. That's hard because I have this like big brother mentality that permeates my entire life. So I'm always looking out for other people, making sure that other people are in the best situation, whether to succeed or have a good time or be heard or whatever it is. And I forget to take care of me sometimes. So that's what was necessary around this time last year, and for a couple of months, I reminded myself to repeat that, like look myself in the mirror and repeat that. I get better, things get better. I get better, things get better. Say it 5, 10, 20 times, whatever it takes to feel a difference, to feel that shift. It may not be a vertical shift, it might be lateral. Feel something change. And that was helping me get out of a dark place mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And it's definitely paid dividends. And daily affirmations are something I wish I learned about when I was in school. I had to do a bit of soul searching to uncover that truth for myself.
Have you ever had to experience either losing or having to give up a relationship, a person, somebody who's negative in your life, something you love, like drinking, that maybe is negative in your life, a job?
Yeah, there was a band I was playing with that I quit, and and I love those guys, love the music that we were making, loved being in that environment, loved hanging out with them, drinking and smoking with them, and shooting the shit, talking about life, talking about deep things, talking about sports and bullshit. I didn't understand why it was necessary, other outside of the fact that I felt like I just needed more space in my life. Like it was a chunk of time that was dedicated um, every single week for rehearsal, and I was just feeling the crush of my schedule. So something had to give, and that sucked. But I'm glad I did because definitely in a better place today. You know, still on great terms with those guys, and I'll be playing music again with them soon. But yeah, that was necessary.
Do you think that in general people today are happy or unhappy? Why or why
Unhappy compared to what we all thought. You know, my peers, people in our late 30s, early 40s. I think as truths get revealed as you get older, the weight of the world starts to weigh on you more. So I know a lot of people who used to be, you know, glued to the 24-hour news cycle that that don't have a clue what's going on in the world today, right now, in terms of current events, because it's just too much. It's exhausting. It beats the hell out of you and drains you of you know vigor and creativity and fun. I didn't expect that when I was a teenager. I was in my even early 20s. Thought you get to a point where you're happy, and if you play your cards right and work hard and make smart decisions, that you can set yourself up for a happy life. And it's like no matter what you do to insulate yourself, if you have a heart and you have a brain, you have ears that work and eyes that work, um, you have to understand how much trauma and evil and greed and disaster is in this world. And if you care about other people in the slightest bit, it's going to weigh on you. And I didn't see that coming, and I don't think anybody does. Like only experience can give that perspective to you. There's a lot of temporary happiness. We got plenty of distractions. There's lots of sugar in the world, but that like just general baseline sustained happiness, I think there's a lot less of it than you expect, and it takes a lot of coping mechanisms to not fall apart.
How do you know you're happy? What is the feeling that you feel?
One of the easiest ways to know is you're either busting a nut or you're busting a gut. You're either laughing, side splitting belly laughs, or you're in sexual elation. There's two.
Okay, that's it. That's good. That's good. And last question: are you happy?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes don't feel like. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Other times don't feel like maybe I deserve to be. Other times maybe even I don't know the thought that maybe I even ignore it sometimes came to mind, but I don't know if that's true.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes I can't help but feel the pain of others. Maybe I've had a great week and work was great and I made way more money than I expected to, and love life was great and had a lot of fun with friends, and you know quiet introspective time was useful and recharging, and then I can't help but remember that my cousin went blind when she was like 10 years old. Kids got shot in a school on last Monday. The fucking crooked politicians of the world, their greed, on the just the doom of greed, something I think about all the time. I just can't fathom being that greedy. I remember seeing somebody put it this way: if a monkey was out in the forest and monkeys live in forest, right? Wherever, jungle, and had been hoarding all of the bananas, had billions and billions of bananas, and all the other monkeys were there's 25 monkeys, and daily they fought over 3 bananas, and some of them starved, some of them won, others barely existed. But there was that one monkey that was just hoarding billions and billions of bananas, couldn't even eat them all. Scientists would study that monkey and be like, what the fuck is wrong with this monkey? And when people do it, we put them on the cover of Forbes magazine. That disgusts me and haunts me constantly. I want to kill those people. That's just something that's like, it's in my DNA now. It's like hardwired in me. So I can't ignore that. So sometimes I'll be having a great time, and all of a sudden it's like, click, something will trigger the memory or the that thought, that thought pattern. And it'll be like, well, forget about the good time I was just having. Now I gotta dwell on the doom and gloom of the world. It sucks.
Yeah.
I wish I was dumber. I wish I could be more ignorant. I wish I knew less, felt less, and I could just be content. Do I wish that? Not really. No, I'm glad I'm aware, to be honest. And some people can't handle that kind of emotional responsibility. And I hope this isn't coming from a place of like a Jesus complex or something like that. But I just feel like, I've been blessed with so much that I can take on a bit more weight, which means um, I can fight a little harder. My music can be a little more provocative. I can put myself on the line in the face of danger, in the face of getting arrested, whether it's at a protest or, lost the thread. What was the question?
Are you happy? Was the
Oh
last
yeah,
question.
right. I'm content.
Yeah.
I'm content. And sometimes even when I'm in a place where I know I'm not happy, I'm definitely feeling the ills. Um, I'm buoyed by remembering that I've made good decisions in the past, and like just follow my own momentum. That's something I remind myself to do. It's like, I've been depressed for months. I've been eating like shit. I've been fucking watching too much porn and fighting with people unnecessarily. Um, like, where does it all end? You know, and sometimes you just have to remember, you know what? 6 months ago, I wasn't feeling like this, and 16 years ago, I wasn't feeling like this, and I was kept making these decisions that were pushing me down a path that I am proud of because it's mine. And sometimes I have to trust my own momentum. That carries me through some dark times. So I am content with that momentum, that groove I've set up for myself.